You know, some stories just get under your skin. They're not always about the gore or the jump scares, but this deep creeping dread that just sticks with you. So today, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna dive into one of those stories, the Moonlight Motel Nightmare, and really break down the architecture of fear to see what makes it so terrifyingly good.
Right from the jump, the story hits us with this question. It immediately pulls you into a feeling that's super familiar and super unsettling. See, it doesn't start with a monster. It starts with that quiet paranoia we've all felt, making us part of the story from the very first line.
So, that's the big question we're tackling. How does a story like this get so chilling? Well, it's not just one thing. It's actually a series of really deliberate choices, a masterclass in building tension layer by painful layer. We're gonna peel back those layers and see exactly how the machinery of a good scare really works.
And the very first layer, the foundation for everything that comes next, is isolation. Before any monster shows up, before anything spooky happens, the story has to make its characters, and by extension, us, feel completely and utterly alone.
I mean, just look at this setup. It's so methodical. First, the time, 2:15 in the morning. That's when the world feels asleep and help is miles away. They're on some random highway. Their GPS is totally dead, and of course, no phone signal. Every single modern lifeline is just snipped one by one. And to top it all off, they're exhausted and starving, which means their judgment is already shot. They're being walked right into a trap, and they don't have a clue.
Let's just call this what it is, a vulnerability engine. It's a classic horror tool, and its whole job is to strip away every single piece of security you think you have. When you can't call for help, when you don't even know where you are, you're completely at the mercy of whatever the story throws at you next. And as their support systems disappear, our own anxiety starts to ramp up, because we feel just as trapped as they do.
Okay, so the trap is set, but the story doesn't rush things, not at all. Instead, it starts the slow burn. It begins building this thick atmosphere of dread, where everything just feels off.
So Mark and Ashley finally spot it. The Moonlight Motel. It's all by itself. Its neon sign is flickering, half the letters are dead, there are no other cars, no sounds, no signs of life. This isn't a place of safety. It feels more like a black hole on the side of the road.
Then they meet the guy at the front desk, and he's described as pale, with a face that's just a total blank canvas, no expression. His eyes are just empty. He's the complete opposite of a welcoming host. He's more like a human-shaped wall.
And here's the really weird part. He never says a word. Ashley asks for a room, and he just silently slides a key across the counter. No words, no nod, not even a hint of a smile. That total lack of normal human interaction is so unsettling. It makes this simple check-in feel deeply, deeply wrong. And this is all they get, a key. Room 6. That silence is somehow louder and more terrifying than any scream could be. It leaves them, and us, to fill in all the horrifying blanks with our own imagination.
All right, the atmosphere is just thick with unease now, so the story starts dropping actual clues. We're moving from just a vague feeling of wrongness to hard evidence that says they need to get out of there now.
Inside room 6, the warning signs are practically screaming at them. There's this weird, damp smell. The wallpaper is peeling off the walls. But the real kicker is the bed. It's perfectly made, but there are wet footprints leading from the bathroom right up to it. I mean, just think about what that implies. Someone was just in here, and they left in a serious hurry.
And then, bam! The bathroom door slams shut all by itself. Mark has to force it open, and when he does, there's nobody there, but this message is now scrawled on the foggy mirror. This is the story's first direct message to them, and it's a terrifying command. The threat isn't just passive anymore. It knows they're here.
Okay, this is the turning point. This is it. The slow burn is officially over, the warnings have been ignored, and now the horror is done hiding. It's stepping right out of the shadows. So as they burst out of the room, that hallway they walked down just minutes before, it's transformed. What was once just empty and cold is now actively hostile. You can hear whispers coming from behind doors that are now slightly ajar. The space itself feels alive, like a predator. It's watching them, it's waiting.
And then we get our first clear look at the threat. A woman in a soaking wet wedding dress steps out into the hall. The details are just chilling. Pale skin, blue lips, and her eyes are completely unnaturally black. This isn't just some ghost. This is a figure of pure menace and deep sorrow.
She whispers the one thing they already know is true.
And it's not a threat of violence, right? It's a statement of fact, which is somehow even more terrifying. It's like a final judgment. They've crossed a line they were never, ever supposed to cross.
And before they can even react, all hell breaks loose. Cold, wet hands just erupt from every single doorway, grabbing at them, trying to pull them down. The threat isn't just one woman anymore. It's the entire motel. It's an overwhelming, inescapable attack. But the story doesn't stop with the attack. The truly great horror stories are the ones that leave a scar, right? The ones where the fear follows you right out the door. Let's look at how this story makes sure its nightmare sticks with you. It's just a frantic scramble for their lives. They break free. They sprint to the car in a blind panic. Mark is fumbling with the keys, the engine somehow roars to life, and they just peel out into the night. And for one split second, you feel this massive wave of relief. They did it. They actually got away. But when Ashley looks back, there's nothing there. The building, the flickering sign, the lights, all of it has just vanished, like it was never there in the first place. And this is the genius of an ambiguous ending. By making the no-tell disappear, the story makes you ask a terrifying question. Was it a real haunted place, or was it some kind of shared hallucination brought on by sheer exhaustion? That lack of a clear answer means the horror isn't trapped in that one location anymore. It's a psychological fear now, one you can't escape because it just might be inside your own head. And that's really what makes a story like this so powerful. It leaves you with this one final haunting thought. If the motel wasn't real, then where did the horror they experienced actually come from? And what's to stop it from finding you again on some other lonely road late at night?